Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Crypto Commission podcast. Today's guest is Crypto Wendy O. Most of you know Crypto Wendy from Twitter. She is an influencer and a big voice for crypto all around the country. I wanted to record this preface because today's a special episode for us. Normally we release our podcast on Thursdays, but this week we wanted to put it out a day early because tomorrow the team will be traveling to Chicago for Voices of Blockchain, and we are pumped for it. But it's important that we get this podcast out because Crypto Wendy O will be hosting a meetup in Chicago on Saturday following the conference. That's Saturday, August 25th from 8 to 10 p.m. at 222 Tavern in Chicago. It's going to be a blast. We're going to be there. We're excited to meet a lot of the people that we've come to respect in this space. Thank you, Crypto Wendy, for putting that on. It's going to be lit, and we cannot wait. Can't believe I just used lit in a sentence. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy the podcast, we would love for you to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and leave us a comment. We don't want to just see you. We want to hear you. Leave your message. Let us know what you think of the show. And also, you can find us on Twitter at Let's Talk Coin. Give us a follow there. Like and retweet our shit post so that can get out there. And also, we've got a pinned message if you want to check it out. We are doing a Build a Bitcoin workshop from September 1st to September 30th in our Discord, where our chartists and analysts are going to be doing trade setups to build 0.1 BTC into 1 BTC in the month of September, because we do believe that no matter the market, there is money to be made as long as you are knowledgeable and you are cautious and careful and you are making calculated moves. And we want to show everyone out there that it's possible. And we're not looking to do this so that we can continue to just give people information. We want to help people gain knowledge so that they can do for themselves, as opposed to always having to lean on other people to do for them. Because we all have to do that initially. Initially, we all have to lean on others that know more than we do so that we can gain their insight and their knowledge. And then we should be able to go out and do things for ourselves. So anyways, guys, without further ado, I want to go ahead and kick off this episode of the podcast with our special guest, Crypto Wendy O.
Welcome to the Crypto Commission podcast. Here are your hosts, Lambo Leo and the Bitcoin Broski.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Crypto Commission podcast. I'm the Bitcoin Broski here with my co-host Lambo Leo. Say what's up, man.
What's going on, guys?
Today we are actually graced with the presence of Crypto Wendy O. Hey Wendy, how are you?
I'm doing good, you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on. We were pumped to have you on. Those of you who don't know Wendy, she is a maven in the space. We were excited to get her on just because she is one of those crypto evangelists that are out there really spreading the word, and she's brought a lot of people into the space. So, one of the things that we're really eager to find out, Wendy, is how did you get introduced to crypto? What's your evolution story, your genesis into the space?
So I first got in November 2017. I was like really, really unhappy with my job. I was there at the company for 10 years. I was unhappy for a long time. I always wanted to start my own business. I was always thinking, I had an idea in the back of my head. There's always something better out there. I kind of looked into stocks a little bit. I didn't really understand it. It didn't really make sense to me, which is really weird. But finally, I was just like completely fed up. I was planning on leaving my job in December anyways. So I just remember I was having a really bad day, and I was like, screw this. I'm going to, because I actually had heard, I knew about crypto and Bitcoin. I heard from my friend Andy, my buddy Andy, back in like 2010, when he was like, "Oh, can I use your credit card to buy some Bitcoin?" And I was like, I didn't even have a credit card then. I was like, "Nope, you cannot use my credit card. Like, you're not gonna buy this weird magic internet money, whatever." So I had heard about it, but then I started hearing about it on libertarian radio, and I was like, I'm just gonna invest in it and see what happens, like whatever. So I did. I made my first purchase on Coinbase. I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, just a little bit because I didn't know. And then I remember literally the weekend I bought it, it dumped the next weekend. It went from like 7,000 to $5,000, and I was like, oh my God. I didn't know anything about investing other than like how I structure my own investments. I didn't know anything about crypto. So yeah, and then after that it like shot up, and then I just remember buying the tops of a lot of stuff, and I got super wrecked. But what was really cool, and what I'm most thankful about, is I have a mentor. It's actually somebody I've known for probably close to 15 years. He found out that I was in crypto. He had moved out of state and was like, to help me get on Twitter and help me, learn about market cycles and all these different types of things. So, but yeah, that's originally how I got into it.
That's great. So if you could go back to that that first day, what's one thing that you wish someone would have told you, kind of advice you wish you could have gotten at that point in time?
That not to worry when we drop.
That's
not,
good.
not to get scared, not to worry, just ride it out, just ride the wave.
So you were buying tops at the beginning, like you said, obviously, like most people were at that time. How did you have a strategy at all? What was your strategy when you began, and how did it transform a little bit?
So my strategy when I first started is like, okay, I see these people talking about stuff, so I'm just gonna buy these things because they're gonna be like stocks. Like you go into the stock market, you get a 401k, you buy like you pay these people to buy stuff for you, and then you hold on to it. Like you basically hold on to these stocks for like forever, whatever. I went through the financial crisis, so I knew a little bit about that. I was investing then, so I just figured you just hold on to it and see what happens. But now I do the complete opposite. I literally chase the red candles and I try to buy the bottom at the current time. Like I will not, if I see a green candle, I stay away from it and I wait. So yeah, that's my strategy now. Now I know.
So you mentioned having a mentor. That's something that has been big in my life. Just having people that have found success that I could take advice from. For anyone that's listening that maybe doesn't have access to something like that, or someone like that rather, what's some advice you would give them? Any tips on how they could develop a relationship like that?
To be honest, this community is completely amazing. Like there are so many awesome people that I have met online. Like I have like a really good friend of mine. I met her online and we're like really good friends. And just if you have questions or you have concerns or you need help with something, there's some people like you can DM anybody on Twitter and they will like big chance they will get back to you. And it's really about putting yourself out there and reaching out. I think that's major important. Like I was lucky because this person I know his family really well and I trust him. I would literally, this is stupid, but I literally would trust him with my private keys and not think twice about it.
Well, it's good. It's good to have people like that though,
I don't know about all that
though. So funny right now.
It's Leo. I would not trust you with my private keys.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust you either.
Do not give anybody your private keys. I'm just saying how much I trust this person, and he knows he knows that I trust him. So it's a mutual understanding.
So with regards to putting yourself out there, I guess that's a nice caveat into meetups and getting social. What's how can people go about finding meetups in their area? What's a resource that they can use? The
best resource ever in the world of anything is called meetup.com. It's an app you can download on your phone. You can look up and you'll see meetups. Like I originally got into it. My buddy, I'm going to say his name. My buddy Braden works at this space company out in Pasadena, and I believe they launched an ICO. But I asked him, I was like, how did you get involved with these people in this company? Because we had wanted to start a business together before, but it just wasn't the right time. He's like, oh, you just go on meetup.com, start going to meetups, and you'll meet people and networking. So I did that, and I went on there. This was before I had got into crypto. But I noticed after I got into crypto, I was looking for meetups. And there's actually a lot of meetups there, but there's a lot of paid meetups. And I was like, I'm not going to pay to go somewhere and talk to people, like, and network with people. Like, this is kind of dumb. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Meetup is a really good place to find meetups and to see what's kind of going on in your community. And like me, for example, I post all my meetups on Twitter. Like if you go to my pinned message, you're going to see probably at least 3 or 4 meetups that I'm doing that are there.
So how did you get started doing meetups of your own?
That's exactly how. I literally went to Meetup. I saw that people are charging for meetups. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like, there's no reason why, I can't host meetups. Like, I'll find somewhere to host it. And then my buddy Gaston, he does, what originally happened, I was on Instagram. I think this is before I got into crypto Twitter. Omar Crypto News was hosting a free meetup in Venice. It was really small, just, bunch of, crypto enthusiasts. So I went and I had a great time. I met Gaston, and Gaston was like, oh, I host meetups. And I was like, okay. I said, well, I want to do that too. Like a buddy of mine, he wanted to host, or we wanted to start a crypto club at school or something. And then I was like, my goal this summer was to actually start doing meetups, but it was going to be more professional. It was going to be more like talking about blockchain technology and stuff. But then it just kind of transformed into what I do now. But yeah, it just literally my whole goal was like, we have all these ICOs, we have all these companies in the space. Like there's no reason why we can't why they can't help us out and help bring the community together. And there's no reason why you need to pay to get into a meetup either. Like You literally go to any local bar, you go to any, like, preferably a bar or brewery because they're nice and big, but like you go and you sit at a table with people. Like, you don't have to pay to get in. Like, you're going to buy food and drinks because everybody loves to eat and drink, and you just sit down and you talk.
It's really cool that you say that you use Meetup, because I've also used that for the first time this summer myself.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was awesome too. I've done 2 meetups, and I didn't even know meetup.com existed whatsoever, and that's how I didn't know people did paid ones though.
Right. Yeah, no, a lot in California, it's absolutely ridiculous. There are so many paid ones. And I'm thinking, like, even my mom, she's like, you should charge for these. I'm like, no. I'm not charging for these. Like, this, to me, this is absolutely insane. I'm not going to charge somebody for meetups.
Well, and I think it'd be counterproductive, right? I think the way that you're doing it is more inviting and welcoming, and especially for people who have a level of apprehension. I mean, I think we all live the majority of our life behind a screen in some way, shape, or form. To break out from behind that and to get social and connect with people face to face. A lot of people have social anxiety. I think it was Bitlord that posted on Twitter the other day that he battles social anxiety, and a lot of people do. So to kind of take that level out of it, that layer out of it, rather, where people also have to pay, I think that's great. I know that where I am, I'm in South Florida. There's really, I mean, for having so many people in my area, there's 2 crypto groups.
Yeah, it's super important. Like, you literally can start your own, and obviously, like, especially if you're in a place that's not really prevalent. Like, obviously, there's not going to be there's not going to be a lot of people coming at first, but that's always how it starts. Is like, like my first meetup I did in my hometown, and I had my friend Giovanni and Tempest. He's on Twitter, and then Crypto Stash, he's on Twitter, and then Gaston, he came. And so there's 3 of us at the first one. There's like nobody there, and that's fine. And then the second one I did in LA, and there was 30 people. It's
that's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it just, like, and then even my trading meetups that I host at Crypto Space, like, there was one week where nobody came. It was just me and Gaston, Stacy, and Ernesto, the owners. So there was nobody that came. So we just chilled on the couch, and we're literally talking about all different types of crypto stuff. So just because you host meetups, like, sometimes there's not going to be anybody coming, and that's okay too. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you're putting yourself out there and, doing that. So I think I'm like super pro meetup and super pro face-to-face. And I do know some people are probably like, oh, she's so outgoing and blah, blah, blah. But I'm actually, like, before I started doing this, never in a million years did I think I would ever do this. And I like people, but it's not like, I do get really bad social anxiety too. And it's something that I did struggle with for many years, because I kind of stopped going out as well. So I get that whole thing also too. So.
Well, thanks for doing it. Right, it's important to bring people together like that, and I mean, aside from all that, it gives us something to talk about here. So
yeah,
I don't want to pigeonhole you into just like the queen of meetups, because I know you have more talents than that. You put out some awesome reviews, and there's a lot that you do in the space other than just arranging meetups. More of a trading question when it comes to how you're looking at projects and your evaluation style. What I know you'll ask a lot of your followers, what they would like to see reviewed, but when you're going in and looking for a good trade, what are you looking for?
It really depends. Like, I talk a lot with my mentor about different projects. Like, he'll send me a DM and be like, hey, look at this. And then I'll look at it. And I personally, and I know this is not probably the most popular opinion, but I really like undervalued projects. I like small teams. I like things that are organic. I like things that are non-ICO. I like super low caps. I like the more risky stuff, because not only are they more, you're able to make more profit on them. I mean, right now, obviously the market sucks, but I really like the underdogs. I've always rooted for the underdogs. I feel like I'm kind of like an underdog myself in a sense. And I want to see these small teams do well, and I want to see them flourish. Like, those are the things that I look for. Like, the top 20 stuff, that's awesome. But at the end of the day, there's going to be millions of other people looking at top 20 stuff. And I want to be ahead of the curve.
Wow. So are there any that you'd care to shill to us right now that maybe we're not paying attention to?
Well, they're not shills because they're not paying me, but my favorite.
Unpaid, paid. I don't mind it. I look at chill as a positive term. If it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't know what to look at a lot.
And that's a whole nother topic. I'm actually going to end up making a video about it, but everybody's like, but yeah, that drives me crazy. Like, okay, so the projects I like DNR a lot, didn't have an ICO, and they were a privacy coin. and it's something I like. Small team. I like Elix a lot. It's essentially like a lending platform. It's probably the best thing I can describe it to is probably similar to Nexo in the sense, but again,
okay.
another small team. I think they're in beta now. I'm not sure, but I really like their project a lot. And then there's a project Send that I've looked at, and I thought it was kind of cool. I'm not invested in it, but I liked kind of what they were doing. And I think I want to say it's about voting, but right now it's I'm kind of waiting for us to drop and like the market to get worse before it gets better at this point. Like,
yeah, I think that's where we're going next, right? We all don't really want to see it happen, but I think it's
a good thing I'm 100% in Tron,
Yeah, no, I mean, and I do like OCN too. Like, I think it's like I bought it a way higher than what it was, but I do like OCN. I literally feel like that when the market picks up, I feel like the price will pick up with that.
You're talking to two people who played that last time around, so we know. We definitely know. We just did a write-up on it. But back to you and TA, like obviously you do a lot of TA. I've seen some of your videos and your meetups that you do. I thought they were really cool. How did you get started with that? Like obviously support and resistance are big. Do you use indicators, and can you go talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I told you, I started buying the stuff like a crazy person in December. And I was seeing people post charts mostly like on Twitter and Instagram, whatever. And I was like, there's no reason why I can't do that. There's no reason why I can't make money and I can do this. Like if all these other people can, I have failed and not done well in a lot of things in life, but I'm not going to just give up. I was always like, there has to be something that I'm good at. I was always kind of struggling to find something that I was good at. And then I started doing TA and I taught myself how to do it and I was okay at it. So that's really how I got started is I didn't want to give up, and I wanted to give myself the best shot at this. And my favorite indicators that I use the Bollinger Band because it measures volatility and you can pretty much tell when there's a reversal coming. I like to use the Stoch RSI because when you get a cross on that, it's going to tell you when there's a buyer a sell signal. I used to use MACD, but now I'm starting just to use the regular RSI because it moves faster than the Stoch, and I feel like they complement each other. And so that's what I use. And another thing too is I do see a lot of people, they're like, oh, TA doesn't work, or I can't understand this, and da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, TA is math-based. I took, I believe, like 8 math classes, and I have I think I have an AA in math or something because I've been in school forever. But I literally remember doing derivatives on my whiteboard at home and doing the same problem like 30 times to prep for a test. And it's literally, TA is the same exact thing because you get your 3 indicators that line up, and it's all memorization, and it's all it's consistent. Like no matter what type of derivative you take, what type of math problem you do, it's literally you're looking for the same things. It's the same pattern over and over and over again. And that's why.
No, I was just gonna say the biggest thing that I took from that was how hard you worked and the fact that you just wanted to get better at it and did. A lot of people that are in this market, they get discouraged, right? It's easy, you lose some money and you're like, holy crap, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm out. And especially right now, we're at that point in the market where people are making that decision, and I think we're going to have a little month, maybe 2 months. Who knows how long this is going to last? I hope it's not that long, but now is the time definitely for people to sharpen up their skills and just stay focused and learn. Because me in particular, I didn't know anything about TA, and same thing, you don't know something until you know it and you put in the work. So it's huge that people take the time, especially right now, to do that.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's important too, is like people think, oh, I'm going to read these 2 books or I'm going to do this and I'm going to get it. It's not. Like I post, like today I made a call at Bitcoin that we were going to go to 57, I think, because that's what the indicators were telling me. My call was wrong. It was 100% wrong because we bounced right away and we bounced back up, I believe, to 64. And I screwed up because instead of I normally do 1 day, 4 hour, and 45-minute. I just did the 1 day and the 4 hour, and that's where I screwed up, is because on the 45-minute or the 1 hour, there was a straight reversal. But yeah, and it's literally all about practice. And even though you practice and you've been doing this for years, you're still, no call is going to be 100% like accurate.
And you paper trade a lot, right? Like you used to paper trade. Do you still paper trade a lot?
Heck yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
It's paper, and that's another thing. People do not paper trade, or they have no idea what it is. But and I'll explain it really quick. Paper trading is when you find a coin you want to invest in, You write down what coin it is, you write down your FA, you see, if it's something you want to invest in, you chart it right away, and you see if you can find an entry. Once you find your entry, you see if you have a target for whether you're going to go long or whether you're going to go short or like whatever. So you start doing that, and then on your journal, you're manually writing this out. I don't recommend people type it in, just because I'm a firm believer of actually manually writing things down. It connects with your brain better. Yep. You literally write down your 3 reasons why. Like, I'm going to enter Bitcoin because the Stoch, because the RSI, and the Bollinger Bands. You need to have your reasons, and you write these down. You write your entry and your exit and your exits. And then you obviously, that's why I like swing trading, is because you kind of just watch the trade for a couple days and see how it pans out. And then when you're done, when you complete the trade and you execute, you write down your reasons. Okay, I made a profit because I did this, or I lost because I did this. And you have this journal, and you do it, whenever, any single time you do a trade or you want to do a trade, and you have this journal so you can go back on and you can say, oh, let's say you want to enter in a lick, but then you remember, oh, this chart is similar to something I did a month ago. You can go back to a month ago and see what you did and why. And you can even go back to TradingView or to Coinigy, and you can pull that up, and you can pull the data up, and you can see the indicators there. You can go back and see where you screwed up. That's the beauty of paper trading and journaling, and it's super, super, super important.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of that the past 6 months with myself, things that I would write down, and I went back and I'm like, why didn't you just listen to yourself?
And a lot of people too, is they get really because trading is emotional, especially with money, because it's very, very emotional. But it's good just to see, because once you write something down, you have that there, and you stick plan. I remember I was in a photo trade. I bought super early, and I wait and I stacked my sells, and then one day it pumped like crazy. So I had only expected a 40% profit, and it pumped absolutely insane. And I remember feeling so stupid after. I'm like, oh shit, I missed out on this. Oh my God, I could have made so more money. But at the end of the day, I stuck to my trading plan, and I made profit. I didn't make as much profit as I wanted, but I made profit.
I mean, that's the cliche, right? When you lose, it's always too much, and when you profit, it's never enough, right? Exactly. So, yeah. But hey, all profit is good profit. So, talk a little bit about that. So, when it comes to stacking sells and laddering into buys, what's your strategy there?
So, what I like to do is I like to draw big support and resistance boxes in crucial areas. And when I see an entry or somewhere I want to enter, I'll draw these boxes, and I'll see where all the supports and resistances are, and I'll draw a fib and just pull, because it kind of pulls them out. Let's say I want to invest $1,000 into a product or a coin, I'll divide that equally by 5, and I'll stack my buys all there. And I even will set sometimes super low ones just to see what happens, because sometimes you get those long wicks. And that's the same thing for profit. I'll say, okay, this is lined up this, and this, but I'm going to set my sells here. And then every time I get an order that hits, then I go back and I kind of reanalyze it and see, okay, is this still making sense? Should I still have these sells here? Whatnot. And
so, sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah.
So with that, I know taking profit is something that a lot of people just don't understand. I know when I was early in the market, I didn't understand the thought of taking profit. I thought you were either in a trade or you were all out, and there wasn't any medium. So what does your take profit strategy look like? How do you have that structured? I know right now the market's not in a place where anyone's really taking profit on anything, but
the same thing when I go to enter a trade, I do buy a big support box, and then I do fibs down, and I buy at all the major supports. And the same thing when I'm executing a trade, I buy at all the major, I'll sell at all those resistances that I feel like the target will justify. And that's what I do there. And, but yeah, essentially profit is profit. I mean, it's when I first started trading, I was so naive and so stupid, because I was like, okay, well, I want 10 times on this, or I want this and that, but it's not what you want. It's what the market wants. It's what the wave wants. It's what the buyers and sellers and what the supply and demand wants. It has nothing to do with you. The market doesn't care about you. You take what you can see. But another important thing I want to throw in really quick is always having a moon bag, especially in crypto, how crucial it is. Do you guys know what those are?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to tell the viewer, the listeners.
Fantastic.
Moon is where you basically hold on to 10% of your bag of whatever coin you have. And the reason why we do that, and the reason why it's so important, is because crypto, crazy things happen and things pump. Like
Pickle coin?
which one?
Pickle coin? Do you guys hear?
Whatever. Any amount.
Pickle coin went 40x.
Holy crap. When was I missed out?
It was a month ago.
Okay. But literally you get all these crazy things that end up pumping like crazy, and it doesn't like it really doesn't, and that's why you have it, because if you have like a moon bag, a Ripple, or like whatever, I have a moon bag of Ripple, I have a moon bag of different things, but it's like if you have a moon bag of all these coins, then if they pump, then who knows what it can pump to, or who knows, like in 10 years, like let's just say it decides to be around in 10 years or whatever the deal is, like you can have like a huge stack of like your 10% bag, whatever it is, it can be like huge. You just don't know. And it's not like it's costing you anything, because essentially you own it free and clear.
Right.
So go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, how much does your portfolio strategy, like how much do you adjust your strategy? Because you know how sentiment seems to change so much. Do you change your strategy often and adapt, or do you kind of try and stay with the same strategy?
So I have my portfolio hedged. Right now it's not too very well hedged because like prices dropped to shit on a lot of things.
It's hard to hedge with this market.
Yeah, but originally I had my portfolio hedged really well for a long time with BTC and Ethereum, because I had bought it when I got it in November, and I think I got Ethereum at like $300, and I think I got Litecoin at like $20 or something, whatever it was, and then Bitcoin I got at $7,000. So I kept my portfolio afloat for a long time. Like I'm down in USD, but I'm breaking even in BTC, which I'm not anymore because the market is like so terrible. But that's the way I like to do it. But as far as changing my strategy, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do, because we don't know what's happening. Like I have an idea as to what's going to happen with price and what the low is going to be. But
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Call it, Wendy.
Okay. So the reason why I'm talking that I'm calling the low, and this is, and I posted it on Twitter and people got pissed, which I don't care. But basically, I feel that miners are the hash reward, if it goes below 57 or 58, they're going to turn their miners off. And if they turn their miners off, that's really, 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 really bad. So I feel like when price drops to that point, and I can even show you guys on a chart, if it drops between 57, like upper 57 and 61, miners start shutting their stuff down. And every single time we've dropped that low, we've bounced up immediately. Is it going to hold? I have no idea. If it doesn't hold, we are going to completely capulate and get like a whole brand new lower low. So if we capulate or we break below those supports, miners are going to shut their gear off, and we're going to see super, super lows.
The cost of mining is different in every country, correct?
It is, but there's other factors. So I was talking with somebody that deals with all of that, and there's different factors. Like you might be able to mine in China or different countries, and the electricity is lower, but you also have to bribe your local government. So there are those costs as well.
Right.
So then those are costs nobody's talking about. And yeah, people are saying, oh, the Chinese market, they're going to go ahead and, they're going to go ahead and keep their miners on and blah, 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 to push everybody else out, which maybe that's true, but maybe it's not. We don't know, because they have all these other costs that they're paying, because if they're bribing their government, or they're doing whatever, which I'm not saying that it's just them. I'm just saying this is a general statement. Then there's always costs that we don't know about. So that's just that's my opinion. That's my thoughts. Like we need miners to keep the ecosystem at bay. So that's my personal opinion on it. I don't know if I'm right. I'm still super new, but
I think there's no right or wrong here. Everybody's just speculating right now. So
right.
Good to have it
so early on. Yeah. I'm not sure if you listened to Shill Gates' little video on BTC yesterday, but he's awesome. He was on the show. He's a really good dude, and he's never really hidden the fact that he thinks that BTC is a pile of hot garbage. What are your thoughts on that topic? Did you listen to it yesterday?
So he and I are actually really good friends.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
And we go back and forth about this all the time. Like he and I have a completely different understanding and a completely different opinion on it. And we go back and forth, and like I battle with him. Like, of course he doesn't get as savage on me as he does with like all people on Twitter, but we battle. And I think Bitcoin is king. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think there's so many dynamics to it that make it that that are really good. And it's like we have the Lightning Network that's coming out still. I know they're still working on it. So I'm really bullish on that. I'm waiting for it. I'm bullish on ETFs. I'm bullish on institutional money coming in, which I know, of course, once they continue to keep pouring in, there will be more manipulation. But as far as what he says, like that's his opinion and I respect that. But I just differ in that. And I think that Bitcoin is here to stay. I don't think it's going anywhere.
It would be nice to see it kind of decouple from everything else, though, to see everything be valued on its own merit as opposed to being tied so closely to BTC. And that's something that I agree with him on, but I'm a believer that BTC will always be the premier store of value in this space, at least. Right. I mean, another thing though, too, is okay, and this might be totally off and it's not, if it doesn't make sense, totally cut me off. But I'm an American and I'm in the United States, and a lot of other countries base their value on our dollar. And I think that BTC is similar into that. And I feel like there's always going to be one superior currency. And let's say America goes away and, is conquered or whatever, there's going to be another currency that's king. And I believe that's the same thing with crypto. Even if BTC does go away, there's going to be another currency that's king. That's going to be that market value is going to be the price action is going to dictate to what other coins are doing. And the same thing, if we get really bad news about our economy, different parts of the world react accordingly. So I feel that that's similar to crypto. There's always nothing is ever going to be equal, unfortunately. I think there's always going to be one force that's stronger than the other. Well, I think it was What Bitcoin Did's podcast with Pierre Rochard, where he goes into detail about that same topic, where if you look back through history, all civilizations kind of move towards one unified currency just because it's easier to base value off of that than have a bunch of different things. And right now, I mean, you're right, the world economy is completely tied into the value of the US dollar. It would be nice to see that happen for Bitcoin. I will say it would be great. My portfolio would be very happy about it. But it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. What do you think the next decade looks like for this space? Oh my God, the next decade is going to be so awesome. It's going to be amazing. Like right now we're dealing with scalability issues and all these coins are coming out with all these great ideas and all these things. And the next 10 years is going to be it's going to be a revolution for us. It's going to be interesting to see what products are actually going to fulfill their promises, what projects are, not going to. People are so quick to call a coin a scam, but at the end of the day, there's always somebody else that's really bullish on that project. All these coin companies or tokens, they're essentially small businesses. 90% of small businesses that enter the space, they fail. They're operating at losses the first couple of years. So, I mean, I would love for all these coins to succeed and do well. At the end of the day, they're not. But just the technology behind blockchain in itself, it's going to I believe it's going to revolutionize the world. And I cannot wait. I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm excited to see how it's going to do it, because I know it's going to do. It's going to help improve voting. It's going to help improve healthcare and supply chain management and all these other things. And with owning land, all these different things, it's going to help improve. Absolutely. So with your portfolio, are you mentioned a few different sectors there. Do you have a strategy when you're looking at these different sectors? Are you trying to spread things around and maybe get a little bit involved with each market segment, or do you not take that approach when you're looking to enter a trade?
Right now, no, because a lot of the healthcare, I worked in healthcare for 7 years. So a lot of the healthcare projects I see, and people are probably not going to like that I say this because we're all about decentralization. At the end of the day, people's health comes first, and getting people the care they need comes first. I don't think we need a decentralized blockchain system to deal with that. I think there needs to be one system for everybody across the world that healthcare partners can pull in, and they can get access to anything they need instantly. Because if we have all these different projects that are doing all these different things, it defeats the purpose of patient care and quality of patient care. For supply chain management, obviously, let's say your Coke and your Pepsi, you can use 2 different supply chains. That makes sense.
Right.
But we need to know your pharmacy. We need to know your doctor, your physical therapist, your psychiatrist, your rehab facility, your hospital. We need to know all of those things, and they all need to be in one place where you can actually have access into them. Because when we're going and we're looking into I worked in pharmacy for a very long time. When I'm looking into somebody's patient profile, and I can't see what their doctor said, or I can't see what this person said or what they were prescribed. It made my job harder. And I was like literally spending hours trying to do this. And it's not fair to the patient. So as far as healthcare stuff goes, I don't think anything can do that yet. I think it's going to need to be on a lot larger scale.
Well, and that just leads back to the point that decentralized is kind of just like a hot button word, something that people use to advertise and market. It's not always something that it's kind of, I mean, there's a lot of companies that are creating a solution without a problem, right? So,
right. Yeah, I mean, like for healthcare, I don't think we need decentralized, but for other stuff, definitely, like for land or for, supply chain, those type of
data. Yeah, supply chain is definitely a big one that I'm into. Interoperability, data sharing, storage.
Yeah, that stuff's important. And I do think that there should be some decentralized products, but as a crypto community, we need to really, instead of being like maximalists on everything and being, I need to have my way, like we really need to think about blockchain technology as how it can improve our society, how it can make things more efficient. And if it makes sense for one project, yes, but just because it makes sense for one project doesn't mean it's going to make sense for everything else. So we kind of need to come together and stop being like hating on each other and being like ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's huge. You see like the disparity in Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash. And like you were talking about how some people are just maximalist on their coin and their project. Right. It definitely does a big disservice to the whole space, because you don't want that discrepancy going on all the time. You have, what do we have, 1,600, 1,800 tokens right now. And if everybody only likes their token, we're not going to have adoption,
Well, not only that, but at the end of the day too, like we have, how many different brands of cereal do we have?
Right. Yep.
How many different brands of real estate companies and healthcare? We have all these different things. Like people have the right to choose what they want to do. Like they don't have to like your and that's another thing too, is like these coin companies, there might be two similar privacy coins, but one might do something better than the other, and then vice versa. And it might work better for one person than the other person. So at the end of the day, let the people choose. Like if they can still make a profit and they can make a really awesome roadmap and have really good technology, then that's awesome. But it might help one person other than the next person, and we're a growing population. So I really think people need to settle down and not get so crazy and start keyboard warriors, really.
Keyboard warriors. Well, I mean, even 1,800 is not a lot, 1,800. If you think about how many businesses exist in the world, right?
Even in like California, there's like for example, there's contractors. There is like a million millions. There has to be millions for every different kind, for construction, for carpentry, for electrical, for like whatever. It's like there's so many companies. Like if there wants to be like a bunch of crypto companies, that's fine. Like if they can better serve their community or the people that like them, then that's freaking awesome. Like let's do it. And people need to just be, they don't have to like it, but they can just settle down a little bit.
Well, I mean, competition makes everything better. If we didn't have, frankly speaking, if we didn't have Samsung and Apple competing over who's going to buy which phone, we'd still all have Nokia flip phones. You know what I mean? So that's what makes the market better. What's that?
Like those are the best. You can literally run those over with a car and they would be fine.
Yeah, the Razor was my jam. Well, so one question we always like to ask people, and I think we've kind of talked a little bit about it, but what's one thing about the space that you absolutely love?
So one thing about the space that I completely love is that you can be on Twitter, or you can do whatever, like wherever you are in your little community or Discord or Telegram, you can literally do and post and say whatever you want. Like if you want to post charts, you post charts. If you want to do podcasts, you do podcasts. If you want to do interviews, if you want to do any of those things, you can put yourself out there and do it. And like obviously there'll be one or two haters, but at the end of the day, the community as a whole is very, very supportive. Like, and I feel like you can put yourself out there, and not everybody is going to do the same as everybody else or like be as successful, but at the end of the day, you can put yourself out there, and there's going to be people that are going to like it, and they're going to be like, you're awesome, and they could, say nice things to you. So that is probably the best thing about this community, the thing I love the most.
And on to the next question. What's one thing that you hate then?
I don't like how nasty people are sometimes. Like some of the stuff they say is really, it's really, really hurtful, and it's really rude. And I get it. There's some people that have issues, or there's some people that disagree and stuff. But at the end of the day, like you can disagree with somebody or not like somebody, but you don't need to be nasty about it. You don't need to like be vicious about it. And I think there's a lot of that goes on in this space. So me personally, like I just block those people. Like if somebody has something nasty to say, it's not because I don't want to engage with them, but it's just because I don't need. I had a really rough life growing up, and I don't need that as an adult. So.
Absolutely. And then you could probably add in the factor that on crypto Twitter, how many people are anonymous on top, so they don't even feel the repercussions. They're just saying some random stuff, and it is very hurtful. I mean, it's pretty nasty, especially in this bear market.
Oh, like, yeah.
I'm just saying it's unbelievable actually what people are saying, but it's easy to hit that block button. I agree.
Yeah, I do. I don't care. I know some people frown upon that, but at the end of the day, I'm on crypto Twitter for business, for my brand, for myself. And I'm there to make friends. And if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying and they're going to continually be nasty and troll me, I'm just not going to tolerate it.
And yeah, I think there's also just that level of discernment to understand, because I mean, Shill Gates is a perfect example, right? In our conversation, he is an awesome dude. Like just in conversations, he's a good person. But he is the king of shit posting, and his stuff is like this is the back and forth that he has with Charty. It always cracks me up. But I think that people that are new to the space can often see that as immaturity and don't understand the fun of it all.
Right, but I don't think the thing with him is he's not going on people's pages and he's not doing sexual stuff to them, and he's not bullying anybody. Like some of these, when I'm talking about people being nasty, like the stuff he does, it's funny. Like he and I joke around, but there's people that go on there and they're saying like nasty sexual stuff to women. Like some of the stuff I get in my DM, sometimes I'm just like, whatever. And then so they're posting like really nasty things, like, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the shit posting, because I love shit posting. I do some of it sometimes myself, but I'm talking about the people that are like malicious and they're hateful.
So, and that has to be a barrier for entry when it comes to women stepping up as leaders in the space. Thank you for that, by the way. I mean, I've got a 3-year-old daughter, and something that's always big for me is, I mean, she's even at her age, she's strong, she's smart. I know she's going to accomplish whatever she wants to accomplish. What's something that can be done to maybe foster a better environment to where more, women of strength in leadership positions can step up in this market?
So as far as that goes, raising a child that's confident, that loves themselves, that's really, really important. But no matter where you go and no matter whatever industry you're in, there's always going to be people that don't, regardless if you're a man or a woman, there's going to be people that are mean to you and that are not nice and that don't like you. And I think that going back to the thing about bringing more women into this space, I think we just need to have unfortunately, we have to have thick skin. And I used to never be like, oh, I'm a woman and there's any difference, because I could give a crap about gender. Like I worked in the gay community for many years. Like all that stuff doesn't bother me. Or I don't have, I welcome it. But being in the crypto space, I noticed that I am treated differently because I'm a woman. I think that like with some business opportunities I get, I feel kind of like people are kind of like, oh, she's a woman, she's going to do this for this, or like whatever. And they don't take in the fact that I'm going to clap back and be like, no, I demand this. Like, so there is definitely a little bit of a gap, and I think a lot of it is because we're dealing with so many different cultures as a whole, so we have to take that into account.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's just raising and being strong, being assertive, and not letting obviously being kind to people. But if you don't feel comfortable with something and you don't feel like, and you feel like you deserve better, standing up for yourself. Standing up for yourself is probably the most important thing, or important advice I can give anybody, is do what you want to do what makes you happy, be kind to people, and stand up for yourself.
And you use the term clap back, so that just means you're officially a gangster. So it's no. Honestly, I think that what you're doing is great, and for me being new in the space, when I saw how you were working to organize things and just being out there, and I would see you in Seattle at a meetup, in Vegas, in California, just wherever what's that?
Go to Seattle.
It was
It wasn't me. I've only done them in California. I'm going to do one in Nevada. I'm going to do
It
one.
was NorCal.
It was an imposter.
It was.
Wendy O.
There we go. So, anyways, foot in my mouth. But no, it was just it's inspiring to see, because, like I said, being in an area where there isn't anything, it's encouraged me to start getting some going of my own. We always like to ask people, why this? Like, why have you chosen to take this on? What's the motivating factor behind getting out there and continuing to do what you do?
So, like I said, I was really unhappy with my job. The California job market completely sucks. If you don't have like a master's degree, you will not find a good paying job. I worked in a job for a long time I hated. I had people that were very nasty to me. There was crazy things that happened at work to me or whatever. So when I actually applied to other jobs in my neighborhood, close to home, because I commuted over 2 hours to get to work, and then on my way home, 3 hours or 1 hour.
Wow.
3 hours total. And this was for 7 years I did this. I'm very, very tired, and there was other factors like stuff with my family to why I needed to work at home. But when I applied closer to home, I literally put out, and I remember doing this because it was in a kind of a rough time for me. I put out 400 applications. I maybe got 9 callbacks. And then when I got an interview for some of those callbacks, the job I was offered, I was going to be getting paid less. And I was like, no, I don't ever want to go back to a 9-to-5. I love what I'm doing. This is the first time in my life I feel where I belong. Not only do I do my meetups, but I started a company. I have 2 other partners, and we are working on creating an amazing product, or not even a product, essentially it's a crypto marketplace ecosystem I believe that's going to be a game changer, and that's going to bring in mass adoption. And I love the space. I love the people in it. I see so many opportunities for growth that I don't want to do anything else but this.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You want to talk about that project a little bit? Go ahead.
So I don't have my NDAs with me, and I can't do it when you guys sign them virtually. But the way that I see in my head, it's a project I wanted to do for a long time. I didn't do it because I got discouraged, because it's like, there's no way I can compete with these big companies that have already have this idea in motion. But when I got into crypto, I was like, I can do this. And the reason why it's going to work so well is because the tier of payment that we're using, you save money if you use crypto, and you save even more money if you use our crypto. And the best thing about it is we're not doing an ICO. We have no desire to do an ICO because we know we're going to be around a long time. And the 2 people that we're working with have been in the space a long time. They've worked on other projects. They know what they're doing, and we're getting ready. We're in beta right now, and we are getting ready to, like, this year is probably going to be a really, really big year for me with that and them. And I'm really grateful for them. And I will, when I do announce it, I'm super bullish on it. So yeah. So
I know that no one can actually see you when you're talking about this, but you have like a crazy big smile on your face.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that everyone should get to feel, right? That feeling of doing it, right? Because starting a business, I think Elon Musk was the one that said it's like chewing on glass and staring into the abyss. Right. Yeah, it hurts and you have no idea what's coming. But just that sense of accomplishment that I can see on your face as you're talking about it, everyone should get to experience that one time in their life, you know? So, and
there's no reason, like, if you're in crypto now, I don't care what you're good at. I don't care what your skill set is. There is a place for you here. Talk to people, be nice to people, reach out, join groups, start meetups, do whatever you need to do. Networking is so freaking important. It's amazing. Like, the people that I meet at my meetups, the people I meet online, and then all these groups, network and talk to people. And I promise you will find a niche for yourself to be successful. But that's super, super important. Super, super important.
Well, so just to kind of close things out here, and again, thank you for coming on. We are all going to be in Chicago for Voices of Blockchain. Will you be doing? Hey, I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Will you be doing anything in Chicago?
Yes, I am going to. I know I've been kind of lagging on it because I have a couple things that I'm working on now. I'm going to host a free meetup. I don't know what day it's going to be. The people from the Voices of Blockchain, they sent over the itinerary. So I believe that the conference is only going to be going to like 6 p.m. So I'm looking to host something probably 7 to 10 p.m. at one of the local bars or breweries that is close to where I will be staying, just for convenience for me. So I'm going to be doing something. It's either going to be the 24th or the 25th, but I promise I'm going to get something going, even to where we just meet for an hour. Like, I'm going to do something, like I'm going to. But yeah, that's a plan right now.
You have
Awesome.
2 guests right here.
For
Yeah,
sure.
so I've had 2 so far. I'm traveling with Jovan, so I'm making her go too. I know that I'm gonna make sure that she listens to this and she's gonna be like, no, I'm not going, but she's going. Yeah, I want everybody to come. I want everyone to meet and to hang out, like have drinks, drink water, whatever you want. I just want everybody to touch base and connect. I feel that these conferences are really awesome and I appreciate people doing them. But at the end of the day, we need to provide an environment that's free for everybody to come, because some people can't afford conferences. And if the Voices of Blockchain weren't sending me, then I wouldn't be going because I can't afford it right now. So that's one of the things, is including everybody the best way I can.
I appreciate the transparency there, because there's a lot of people that wouldn't have said that. And I think that people hear leaders in the space and assume that everyone is wealthy, frankly speaking.
I'm a full-time student. Like, I'm not working now. Whatever money I have, it's from stuff that I get paid to do in the space. And it's from trading, which right now is not going super well. I don't have a lot of money to be traveling and doing whatever. So, I mean, one of the things I'm looking for companies to sponsor me, as far as sending me to all these different places and doing free meetups. So that's something that I'm working on. And, I'm hoping to be able to do it professionally. I'm hoping that when my platform, when it launches, I hope that does really well. And I hope that people see the value in it and see how important it is. I hope I do well from that, because the better I do, it's going to be a point for me to give back to the community as far as bringing people together. So
awesome. Well, Wendy, let everyone know where they can find you.
So I am at YouTube. I post, I live stream my meetups. I do TA vids. I do interviews with different companies, and that's at Crypto Wendy O YouTube. I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Investy. I'm on Twitter. I just started a Facebook account just because, to get more people involved that I can. I am on Instagram and
Trading View.
Oh, TradingView. I'm on TradingView. I'm literally on all these sites, and it's all Crypto Wendy O. So I would really love if people would subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be awesome. And lastly, I have a meetup tonight with Adam Meister at Boomtown Brewery in downtown LA. It's from 7 to 10. It's going to be free. All you need to deal with is parking and buy yourself some delicious beer. But I have that. And then every Thursday night, I have my Trading Basics meetup at Crypto Space in San Pedro. Those are also free. And then I will be announcing my September meetup in Orange County sometime in September. And then I have the Las Vegas meetup, and yeah, they're all over the place. And you can always see my meetups on my pinned message on my Twitter account at Crypto Wendy O.
When you say Vegas, you mean for World CryptoCon?
Oh yeah. So MoreCoin is sponsoring the event. They are absolutely amazing as far as bringing mass adoption in, just because of what they do. So they're sponsoring my event. It's going to be a free meetup that's going to be after the conference. It's going to be on 11/1, and it's going to be free. I want everybody to come down. That information will be in my page on Twitter. But yeah, it's going to be free. So if you're in Nevada or you're going to be at WCC, like, come hang out with us. And we're also going to be celebrating Ken's birthday. My co-host, Ken Bosak, she's awesome. He's going to be there to try and get him a big Costco cake to celebrate his birthday. But yeah, really want everybody to come. It's going to be a big deal.
Fantastic. Well, this episode is going to air on August 23rd. So by that time, we will include the information for the Voices of Blockchain meetup, so that we can try to draw a crowd out there, because it is going to be a lot of fun. We're excited. And I will be there with you at WCC. So looking forward to that. But Wendy, was there anything else that you wanted to add before we close things out here?
Oh, just please subscribe to my YouTube channel, even if you don't watch my vids, but just subscribe. I'm trying to get my subs up, and then follow me on Twitter, just so you guys can stay updated. If anybody's got any questions about anything I talked about or needs help with anything, please send me a DM and I will get back to you when I can.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Wendy, thank you again for coming on for us.
You, Wendy.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and log off here, but guys, take it easy until next time.